All right, so it's been a while. Sorry about that. I did a big costume thing for my son on Halloween, and then we just had like the worst last few weeks. Some good stuff in there. Mother-in-law came out for a visit. That was cool. But yeah, there's been a lot of rough waters in the Malone house for the last few weeks. But hey, I'm trying to bring it back around. Things are kind of looking on the up and up again. And that means it's time to bring back the Daily Cup of Genre. So hello everybody and welcome back to what will hopefully be a much more daily cup of genre here on the Genreverse YouTube channel and Genreverse Podcast Network, available on all your favorite podcast apps. Subscribe here on the YouTube channel for the podcasts like this, Breaking Geek Radio, anime and trailer reactions, and more. Follow us on your favorite podcast app, like I said, for all of the podcasts as they go up. It's not a reaction video, it goes up audio as well. Link for our merch in the description box below. Redbubble, you can get all these prints and more on all sorts of items, not just the shirts that you see on screen. I'm Kyle, if I didn't say that, and also be sure to check out lrmonline.com. And speaking of LRM Online, I like to start these shows with a little bit of an around LRM. And as you can see, we cover a little bit of everything from animation, comic books, board games, video games, even like the business side of news. So a couple things that are up over the weekend. Loki's Season 2 review from Cam. Hey, there's an ad. Gotta pay the bills, right? Loki Season 2 review from Cam Clark. He does a lot of content here. The Cantina, Dragon reviewed, and more here on the Genreverse. And also look for Genreverse Sports, where Cam's got a new soccer podcast with a few other hooligans that he knows. I'm joking. Good guys. But yeah, Cam really loves Loki Season 2, has been singing the praises for it for a while. I'm going back to the super dark mode right now. Also, you can find information on something that'll never happen. George R.R. Martin finishing the Winds of Winter. They say he says he will, but you guys can check out information on that. And of course, there was the big Marvel changes, all sorts of updates on the release schedule for the films. And guess what? Next year we're basically getting one movie from the MCU, and that's going to be Deadpool 3. As I zoom in a little bit more here for you guys, Deadpool 3 is now going to be July 26, 2024. Captain America's moved up into 2025. Everything basically has gone to 25 or beyond. Thunderbolts is delayed until July of 25, and you've got Blade going from February 25 to November of 25, and they are still allegedly joining Fantastic Four, which will release in 2025. So there's allegedly going to be one next year, and then four the year after. And this is, of course, all coming after the strikes ended. The SAG-AFTRA strike ended last week as well. And I mean, it's not surprising. I said a while ago, a long time ago, when they were like struggling with stuff, that we might not see Secret Wars until like 28. I think that's actually really likely, and that's if we see it at all. We do talk about box office numbers here on Mondays, but needed to kind of mention this before we get into the box office numbers, because it's all kind of connected. And the Marvels is out, and it hasn't done the hottest. I look, I haven't seen the movie. All right. If you want to hear a good review, go over onto you're already on the Genreverse. Stay here on the Genreverse. Check out Breaking Geek Radio's review for the Marvels. Spoiler alert, Jonesy liked it more than Jammer, but you'll have to listen to see just how much more, and what issues they both had, or which issues one had over the other. It's a good review. Check it out. I'm here to talk about the business side of things. I was never going to see the Marvels. I have not been watching Marvel stuff very much at all. Still haven't seen Secret Invasion. Only seen one episode of Loki season 2. I'm burned out on Marvel, and I think a lot of other people are too. As we look at the box office numbers, I know I need to fix my window. It's not the best anymore. I'm too big over it, and so give me a bit. I'll try to fix this. But the Marvel's bringing in a whopping $47 million on its opening weekend. Worldwide, only about $110 million. This is against a alleged budget of $250 million, and that's before all of your advertising and stuff like that. This movie probably in that $350 million range at minimum, maybe. We'll say 300 to 350 in cost, meaning that this film really needs to push that $700 million global box office to break even. Now here's the thing, man. This movie is not as hated as some might think. It is one of the lowest rated films out there for the MCU. The Eternals, Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania being the 2 to score lower films. That is, this actually is currently 1 point lower than Thor: Love and Thunder, which had a 63. The audience score is pretty good, as you guys saw, was 84, and as I'm scrolling down, you can see there are definitely movies that get way above that, and some that get way less than that. The original Captain Marvel actually had a 45% audience score. There was, of course, and I will say alleged only because of, well, YouTube, but alleged review bombing for that movie. Some people say the Marvels is better than Captain Marvel 1, but you can see that the movie is not the absolute most hated on either side, but it is definitely not all that loved by the critic side. Unlike the previous one, which did much better critically than it did with the audience. So what's going on? What happened? Is it a bad movie? Is it a inexperienced director? I can't speak to it being a bad movie, but as far as inexperienced directors, I mean, Joss Whedon did TV, Firefly movie. What was that? Serenity, Buffy. I love Buffy. We reviewed it for our 13 Days of Horror, and I mean the movie, not just the series. But they gave him the Avengers, and I can hear some people be, well, he was a big comic book fan and big geek guy. Okay, what about the Russos? Now, what about the Russo brothers? They're big claim to fame TV as well. I mean, James Gunn, he came from Troma, man. I mean, I know he did stuff outside of that, but it's not just a new director. And people aren't going and seeing it, and it's not just men not seeing it. I mentioned, no, wait, that was a failed episode because I had an appointment and didn't get to finish it. But the Taylor Swift movie made a crap ton of money. It was 90 some odd million dollars on its opening weekend, if I'm not mistaken. And this is bringing in less than half of that, or right around half of that. That's a whole lot of females that went and saw that. It skewed heavily female in the demographics. I think it was pushing over 80% female, if I recall correctly, and I might be off a little bit. Where's that? Well, they're burned out too. They're tired too. So even if it's a good movie, which relatively, again, it is one of the lowest rated on the critic side. It's not one of the lowest rated on the audience side, although it's definitely not one of the top rated either. It's kind of middle of the pack when it comes to audience compared to a lot of these movies. And it really is to me. I think this is just We're burned out. There's been so many bad things. I mean, you look as I bring the screen up and down, back and forth. Sorry. You look at Secret Invasion. Look how awful that did. You look at Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania. You look how rough that was. She-Hulk, Divisive, Thor: Love and Thunder, Miss Marvel. A lot of people liked it. I didn't. That was one of the things that I watched in its entirety. Young lady that played Iman Vellani, if I mispronounce that, sorry, who played Miss Marvel. She did great. She was one of the least wrong things about the show, but I didn't care for it. I think people are just burned out on it, and the Marvels is suffering from it, and it might be the best thing in the world for Marvel to miss next year with everything except for Deadpool, which really does look like it's just going to be Deadpool kills the Foxmen universe. Who knows? They might have some additional universes and stuff that they going off, but we'll see, guys. I'm not here to dance on the Marvel's grave, so to speak. I'm here to say I don't think it's because it's a bad movie. I think it's because people are just generally burned out, and it might be a mediocre movie, and people just don't want to see mediocrity anymore. But it sucks because a lot of people put in a lot of hard work in that, and we're hoping for a big splashy reception, and that didn't happen. Now there are absolutely some people out there claiming this to be the greatest thing since sliced bread, and it's not. And there's people out there trashing on this as if it's the worst thing since the Eternals. I can't speak to that, but it doesn't seem like it is to a lot of people. I don't know. If you saw it, let me know in the comment section down below what you guys thought of it. When it comes to these superhero movies, Marvel's, like I said, this break might be a good thing for them, but it also might be a bad thing. We know that toy adaptations are becoming a thing, and they see a lot of money in that. Video game adaptations. We saw the announcement for the Legend of Zelda movie, and Nintendo, what the hell were you thinking working with Sony on that? Really? Avi Arad, you're letting him bring, oh god, Sony. Anyways, guys, that's it. The rest of the box office, just to go ahead and mention a bit about it. Five Nights at Freddy's kicking ass. It's brought in what, $200 some odd million worldwide, $300 some odd million worldwide. If I'm not mistaken, for some reason the internet's not wanting to open up things that I click on. $250 million worldwide. Taylor Swift's Eras Tour. Ooh, man, the fact that might end up making way more money domestically than the Marvels did. That's rough. And the Native American epic, or Native American starring, or I don't even know if it's starring because it's got DiCaprio like top bill. Anyways, DiCaprio and Scorsese's film Killers of the Flower Moon rounding out the top 5. It was a paltry weekend, guys. $85 million. That's it. Rough. Very rough. About as rough as this episode. Anyways, subscribe to the channel if you guys enjoyed this, or if you enjoy any of our other content, or curious as to our other content, please do check it out. Subscribe, share us with some friends and family. If you're listening to us on your favorite podcast app, or if you would like to go check out your favorite podcast app, see how long it's been since D-COG was out. October 18th. I am so sorry, guys. Life can be tough sometimes. LRMonline.com every day for all written news, opinions, celebrity interviews, all sorts of great things, reviews, and more. And of course, the merch at the Redbubble link in the description box down below. I've been Kyle. It's been fun, and I will, oh my god, why is it so bright? I will see you guys next time. Bye.